Hi everyone, it's Scorpio Mystique, and welcome to part 2 of Scorpio's Evolution Challenge. Happy 11/11. Today is a very powerful day to be arriving at this step of our challenge, so I really want you guys to congratulate yourselves. These past 10 days have been very transformative, and I'm so happy you're on this journey with me. I can see that collectively as Scorpios, we've been putting energy in bettering ourselves and it's paying off. This has been one of the most magnetic and electric Scorpio seasons. I think we can all agree, and it's not over yet. So, being at the eagle level of evolution, learning about it, and really trying to embody it during Scorpio season will really help us finish 2016 strong and start 2017 even stronger. So, I just also would like for us to touch on the fact that even as we're learning about the eagle phase, Scorpio will always often vacillate between all three stages, especially when you're first learning about them. So, some Scorpios have asked me, how do I know which stage I'm at? It's a lot of an intuitive knowledge and a day by day thing. Eventually, once we've all been able to evolve at higher frequencies for longer periods of time, you'll be able to sustain the kind of stage that you're at. So, ideally, we're trying to get to the Phoenix, or even staying at the Eagle is amazing, and the Scorpion has its positive traits too. So, you just have to check in with yourself intuitively. So, I'm going to talk about what the Eagle stage is, and intuitively, you'll know if you think that's where you are or if you're still working on Scorpion level stages. So keep in mind that this challenge is just so you can understand the spiritual meaning of your levels of evolution, but it's something you should do every single day. Think about your levels of evolution. You don't have to feel like you have to evolve by 11/11 to a certain stage. So keep that in mind as we learn about the eagle stage. It's all flowing. Um, we have moments where our actions are very phoenix like, and moments where we're at the scorpion level, and they're all part of who we are. So I'm really, really happy that you made it this far. Even if you only did the Let It Go meditation or Forgive Yourself letter once during this time, that's a huge, huge step because, like I said in the first video, this isn't supposed to be easy. It's supposed to challenge you. So if you guys haven't seen the first video about the scorpion level of evolution, that's definitely what I advise that you watch first, so that you can understand the eagle a little more seamlessly. So yeah, the scorpion level of evolution, once you acknowledge it and do the assignments that I've been getting good feedback, I've been getting feedback that it definitely was something that could take us out of our comfort zone, but that ultimately a lot of people felt strengthened and lighter, and other people sometimes felt like, it was hard to confront some darker emotions and reasons why we might feel petty or jealous or bitter. It only sometimes amplified those feelings. That's absolutely normal. The more you do the Let It Go meditation and the Forgive Yourself letter, the more you'll be able to take time to acknowledge what might be triggering you and figure out a solution for why you feel the way you do and find a more constructive outlet. So everything that came up during these scorpion level challenges is supposed to. Don't think that, there's no right or wrong way to do it. And I advise you all to continue to do your scorpion level challenges even as you work on your eagle challenges. Um, it's wonderful to see how committed you all are to bettering yourselves. And by bettering yourselves, you're bettering the world. And so that's what we're going to talk about with the eagle stage of evolution. All right. So, what is Scorpio's eagle? The eagle stage of evolution is a time in which we become aware of our thoughts, our emotions, our passions, and how they influence the world around us, and how we can create our realities through these very things. And that, in a way, becomes our superpower as Scorpios because we're a very intense and powerful sign. So once we learn to master or control our emotions in a way that benefits us, so basically not easily getting triggered by outside circumstances, we're able to soar above all of the things that once dragged us down or weighed us down. So don't forget that the scorpion level, our first level of evolution, is a ground dwelling creature. So that's where we easily get weighed down by other people's drama, our own expectations of ourselves, insecurities, doubts, things that in the end cause us more harm than good and can cripple our evolution. And by doing the Let It Go meditation consistently and by just becoming more aware of the fact that you don't have to keep and hold on to this kind of energy and you can learn from it and move on, you are evolving into an eagle. And what does the eagle do? The eagle is able to see everything from a higher perspective. So as a scorpion, the reason that scorpion level Scorpios can be so protective and have this wall is because the perspective that we have is that we live in a dangerous place and people aren't to be trusted and we have to guard ourselves. We're able to see the shadow sides in people because in humans there's both, shadow and light and flaws and weaknesses, and we're able to see directly into who people are, but sometimes it can blind us to the more positive side sometimes, especially if we've been hurt by someone. It can, make us extreme as scorpion level Scorpios. The advantage of evolving into an eagle is that you develop a greater understanding of the nuances of human beings. So you're not going to be as judgmental and you're just going to focus more of your attention towards yourself and bettering yourself. So you're understanding more that the world is a mirror. So the way you think about yourself and the way you think about the world around you will manifest in terms of the people that you attract in your life. So at the scorpion level, sometimes because you can be so suspicious, you may actually attract people who aren't necessarily trustworthy or who don't necessarily have your best interest. But at the eagle stage, if you start to change your thoughts to one of ambition, of there's enough room for everyone to win, I'm just going to do the best I can in my field. And that is an amazing perspective for the eagle. And one thing to know about the eagle, however, is you can still use your vantage point as you choose. Some eagles decide to, the traits of wanting vengeance or wanting to be number one still exists with the eagle. They're just not as likely to take out their stinger. Eagle Scorpios are more likely to pursue teaching lessons on people, and not every single person who's harmed them. They're very selective with the lessons they choose to teach, and they can use their vantage point to come and sweep their quote-unquote prey instead of stinging them. So they sweep them from above. The prey doesn't even see them coming, like the almighty eagle that has been looking for what it's going to eat. So it's very interesting because the eagle stage is the intermediary between the scorpion and the phoenix. So of course, you're still going to be learning how to let go of some of your more controlling tendencies as a Scorpio, and your desire to always be on top no matter what. So it's interesting because the eagle still has a lot to learn in terms of selflessness. The eagle is very self-focused, and that can be very positive as a Scorpio to be self-focused, because when we invest ourselves in ourselves instead of being at the scorpion level where sometimes we're too focused on what's going on outside of us, the eagle helps bring out our inherent talents and gifts. So, ego level Scorpios are often amazingly inspiring people. They are able to magnetically attract people who are at their level of consciousness, and they can also use their magnetic powers to attract great wealth, great fame, and amazingly lucky opportunities. So, to be at an ego level means to be feeling like you know what your purpose is, and you will do whatever you can to make sure you're living out your truth. So it's very inspiring to be an ego Scorpio. And like I said, we have a little bit of it all. All three stages are always running towards us. So you probably resonated with that too. I know a lot of you say, I am at the Scorpion level. I can't wait to move on. Like, I have too many of these traits about Scorpions, you know. But the thing about it is you're being way too hard on yourself. If you can be aware that you have traits that need to improve, you're most likely, already an eagle. You just are still working on addressing parts of the Scorpion that maybe you hadn't addressed until now. And this is obviously the right time to address it. So trust the process and don't be so hard on yourself. If you're here, remember you are evolving, and these challenge exercises will lift you into an even higher plane. So are you all ready to hear what these next 10 days challenges are? Okay, so let's do it. Well, I would like for us to go back and think about what the new moon goals were. When I first started announcing this challenge, I asked you all, what are some of the intentions you have for Scorpio season? And I heard absolutely amazing responses. Many of you all are feeling like it's time to truly dive into your passion and not just tiptoe into it. Perhaps a lot of you seem to be in professional situations that may not be really what you love, but you may be doing it for reasons of security. And a lot of you all feel like you know what you want to wake up doing every day. This is going to be the time to implement those new moon intentions that you guys told me. And the reason this date is so important, 11/11, is synchronicity is when you see angel numbers. So 11/11 is an angel number. When you see 333, 444, 555, it's just an increased vibration. So for all of these Scorpios around the world to be watching this on Scorpio season, during Scorpio season on 11/11, we'll be able to, even just by thinking about what your dreams are together, we'll be able to amplify that energy and create a tangible path for it. So for it to become a reality. So the next amazing part about this is that in 3 days, on November 14th, there will be a full moon in Taurus. So this is Scorpio season's one full moon. We had the new moon on October 30th, right before the challenge began. And that new moon is about planting seeds of new intentions. And the full moon is about having closure and culmination, especially about something that took place about 6 months ago during the new moon in Taurus, which was about May 2016. So try to think back at what seeds you were planting then, and you may see that themes come full circle around November 14th. And full moons, you can feel the energy about 4 days before and 4 days after. So we're already in the midst of feeling this full moon energy. Taurus is Scorpio's opposite sign. So this a lot is going to affect our partnership cycle, our partnership sector, and it's also going to affect our values and our money sector. It's also a huge supermoon. Over 60 years, there has not been a supermoon that is this big during Scorpio season. So when I told you guys that Scorpio season was lit, I was not joking. But it's true that full moons can also be emotional. So that's why if you can harness the power of the eagle you will be able to make it swimmingly through this full moon, and you will truly feel like a werewolf transforming. You may want to go outside and howl at the moon. I'm not even kidding. Like, this is a really magical, transformative time. Okay, I think it's about time to actually get into the challenge so that this transformation can finally begin. I'm excited. All right, so the assignment that I gave on top of the Let It Go meditation was to do the Forgive Yourself letter. And that's the most private part of the assignment. I honestly know that Scorpios can be just unbelievably tough on ourselves. And so I know that that really probably brought up a lot to the surface, but I'm glad it did, because forgiving yourself is the first step to anything. And it's also going to help with your first challenge assignment in the Eagle stage. And the first challenge assignment is forgive another. So, as a Scorpio, we know that we hardly ever forgive, and if we do forgive, we never forget. And it's a cool little, fact about us, because it goes to show that our loyalty shouldn't be taken for granted. But at the same time, it's important that we understand that forgiveness is like freeing someone and realizing that the prisoner was you. So when we refuse to forgive someone, we're really just holding a lot of energy that is blocking us within ourselves. It's like putting a lock on ourselves because we refuse to give freedom to that specific energy or grudge that we're holding. So forgiving someone does not mean let's go back, kumbaya, and be best friends. It's more like, thank you for this lesson that you've taught me. You obviously came into my life because I needed to learn from you. I appreciate you for that, not necessarily for all the pain or anger or disrespect, but I appreciate the lesson and I forgive you. So we can't necessarily forgive everyone. It has to be at the right time that feels for us, and some people really aren't meant to be forgiven. So for this exercise, there was probably someone who popped into your mind when I told you to forgive another. That person was most likely, and I have to say something, when I said forgive another, I looked at my clock to see how long I've been talking. I've been talking for 18 minutes and 18 seconds when I was looking at the clock. That's an angel number. So I myself was thinking of someone that I probably should forgive. And I looked at the clock, it said 1818. When you see angel numbers, especially on a day like 1111, that's usually a sign from the universe, like a little wink, saying you're on the right path. What you were thinking about is true. Don't second guess yourself. So I'm going to tell you guys that now, and you let me know if you start seeing angel numbers, and pay attention to your thoughts and your intuition when you do see that angel number. All right, so yes, I thought of someone I probably should forgive. So that's what I'm talking about. Don't start thinking, oh, should I write a huge Facebook post to anybody who I had rolled off? You can if you want, but no, I'm talking about intuitively. You've probably held a grudge for too long in a certain way. Who is that person? Why did you keep that grudge? Is it necessary? Can you forgive? So for this exercise, I highly suggest just starting off writing a letter, kind of like you wrote a letter to yourself, telling the person you forgive them and why and the lesson that you learned. And it's going to be up to you if you decide to actually get in touch with the person. That's like an extra push. If you want to call it extra credit, that's what I would advise, but it's all up to you because it depends on the person you're forgiving. Maybe the person isn't here. Maybe there's no way you can get in touch with them. It's okay if they're not alive. If it's all personal. So you choose what you want to do after you've written the letter, but it has to be someone you genuinely feel like you're ready to forgive, like you're ready to let go of that weight. If you don't feel ready, don't force yourself. This is a guiding tool so that you can use this mentality as you navigate through life. you are not going to allow yourself to feel burdened. And sometimes burdens just come from things we create in our minds. Sometimes when we hold on to things that hurt us, we harden it in our hearts and it doesn't leave room for light and love. And as an eagle, you need to soar. You deserve to soar and feel free and feel amazingly light. It's 11:11. We will manifest this. And remember that today is all about talking about the manifestation of our desires. So you may be wondering, why do I have to forgive someone? What does that have to do with anything? But the universe is about karma, and what comes around goes around in cycles, and letting go. And so by showing the universe that you're letting go of what no longer serves you, so forgiving is freeing yourself from, I have to be mad at this person. I don't like this person. This person doesn't deserve this. You know, you're freeing yourself and you're making room for miracles and magic to come in your life, and people who resonate with you and will love you um, will enter your life as a result. It's just the way life works, the universe. So I don't think it needs to be a huge list of people, but this is up to you. You may feel like it's so liberating that it's a huge amount of people that you want to forgive, either through writing or talking to them in person or both. You may feel it's just one person. You may really think about it and not, and still want to work on the forgive yourself part before getting to this. All up to you. But just in these next 10 days, as we get to the Phoenix, work on forgiveness a bit more and try to extend it to someone outside of just yourself. Definitely keep working on forgiving yourself, but forgive another. I know you can do it. It's a big part of getting, to the next stages of evolution. Okay, so the next exercise is really exciting. As you're making room for this lightness that's entering your life, as you're forgiving, you are making room for yourself to create the reality that you want. But in order for that to manifest, you need to do it consistently. That means you need to start visualizing in detail the life that you're already living, the life that you want. So this is called, there's a full moon on Tuesday, and I got this exercise from a Taurus life coach. I took a really cool life coaching course, and it's cool how at this full moon, it's just perfect. I have to tell you, this is perfect for this Taurus full moon. It's a 67-second visualization exercise. So for 10 times during your day, you can choose when, but try to do it 10 times each day in these next 10 days and beyond. But let's just, for the sake of this challenge, it's 10 times each day for these next 10 days. You are going to sit in silence, close your eyes, and visualize for 67 seconds. So you can set a timer, but honestly, I think 67 seconds is like, you can figure that out in your head. If it's about 67 seconds, it doesn't strictly have to be, but basically what you think feels like a minute and 7 seconds. And if you want, you can count, but the idea is simply to sit with yourself and imagine yourself living the reality of your dreams. So it's really magical because the more you do it, the more you're attracting its reality. Scorpio is the most magnetic sign of the zodiac. We are like the alchemist. By the way, if you guys haven't read that book, it's a huge, amazingly, incredibly inspiring book, The Alchemist. So maybe I'll start a book list or something that has to do with Scorpio's Evolution Challenge that can help inspire as we continue this journey. But I digress. So yes, we are the alchemists of the zodiac. We can take our thoughts and turn them into reality. So start visualizing in detail. This life, who is this Scorpio that you are, that is happy and joyful and passionate? What are you specifically doing? When you wake up in the morning, which city are you in? What does it feel like when you open your eyes? What does it feel like when you stretch your arms? Is there someone next to you? What are you looking forward to doing? And as you get out of the shower, what are you wearing? And what do you eat for breakfast? And do you hail a cab? Do you take the subway? Do you drive in your amazingly perfect car that you earned through following your passions? And what exactly is your passion? What do you spend your day doing? This is a hopeful visualization. This isn't, oh, this is what I think is possible. No, 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 no. This is what you feel in your heart is your dream reality. And no one knows that better than you. And here's the secret, Scorpio. If that dream reality exists in your mind's eye, that means it can and will exist in your physical reality. You just have to focus on it long enough. And you have to allow that space in your life to invite it in. So if you fill your day with busy work, Scorpio, if you fill your day with procrastination out of fear of your own success, if you fill your day with social media because you're comparing yourself to others, you're not making enough room to let it in. So once again, continue the Scorpion level challenges of digital detoxing, of spending more time with yourself, of putting yourself first, because for this 67-second visualization exercise, you will thrive when you take 10 times in the day to just live in that reality. And I would also suggest to write down, maybe after the visualization, to write down what it felt like to meditate on that. Maybe during that meditation, 10 million ideas popped up on how you can make that reality. Maybe your domain name will pop up during that meditation. Write it down. You will see how amazing it feels to be light and to focus on your own journey and your own path, and to realize how attainable your reality is based on your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions. So action is the next and very important part of this challenge assignment series. So the third part is that I would like for you all to dedicate 1 hour, start off dedicating 1 hour a day to your passion project. So during your meditation, you'll most likely know what you want to spend your life doing or in your ideal reality. Some of you all may be dreaming of owning your own businesses, traveling, teaching, being a surgeon, a lawyer, a model, a chef. Scorpios are so passionate, and we know that when we want something, we'll do anything to get it. So it's Scorpio season. It's about to be a full moon. This is the time to take the action. So no distractions. Schedule a time. If you need to actually schedule it in your calendar, that's even better. 1 hour a day. Start off like that, where you're just working on what your passion project is. So if you want to be a writer, start your book. 1 hour a day for the next 10 days already. That's 10 hours of writing, solid writing. Imagine what you will have written. Most of the time, we think of the most amazing ideas, we just don't do it. Because sometimes we self-sabotage. That's the Scorpion in us. We self-sabotage. It is time to burn ourselves up so we can soar. That is the ego part. It's more like the transmuting part. We're currently, burning and transforming from the Scorpion to the eagle so that we can rise from our ashes as a phoenix. And if you think the eagle is mind-boggling and eye-opening, wait until we talk about the phoenix on 11/21. But we are still at the eagle stage right now. So please leave a thumbs up, write a comment if you think you're ready for the eagle exercises. Number 1, you will forgive another. Similar to the forgive yourself exercise, but extending it to another. Outside of yourself, realizing that they are a reflection of you and they are actually yourself. So by forgiving another, you are continuing to forgive yourself and you are infusing love into the universe. Amazing eagle qualities. Exercise 2, the 67-second visualization exercise. 10 times a day, you will spend a little over a minute living, breathing, imagining, absorbing your ideal reality in as much vivid detail as you can. The third assignment is your passion project. You will dedicate 1 hour or more, because the extra credit part of this is that eventually with each day, I would like you all to add 10 minutes. So On day 1, you dedicate 1 hour to your passion project. On day 2, you dedicate 70 minutes. On day 3, you dedicate 80 minutes. So that means by day 10, you would be dedicating almost 120 minutes, almost. You'd be dedicating close to 2 hours a day, basically, by the time we get to the Phoenix level. And of course, you all may be dedicating way more than this. I'm sure plenty of Scorpios are living out their passions already. If that's the case, push yourself even further. Sometimes we play it safe when we are doing, for example, as Scorpio Mystique, I feel so blessed to be able to be doing my passions, but there's still so much more I could be doing. I sometimes just play it safe, and I will be partaking in this challenge with you, and I will be pushing myself further. So let's share with the Scorpios in the comments what our passion projects are, what we know we've been wanting deep down, and how we'll get there, and what actions we take. So start with 1 hour, add 10 minutes with each day. Those are the 3 assignments. I'll write it in the description below. I'll email it to everyone who's subscribed, so make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet, and you'll get all the challenge assignments. And I'll also remind you of the Scorpion level challenge assignments. Keep working on those as well. And get ready for the Phoenix on 11/21, the last day of Scorpio season. Well, close to the last day. 11/21, 11/22, both of those incorporate Scorpio, Sun and Scorpio energy because it's the cusp. So the next final video will be the Phoenix level of evolution on 11/21, November 21st, 2016. So just know that this is supposed to be transformative, and so you'll have deep moments and revelations, and you may feel emotional and deeply sensitive, but you will be empowered by this. The ego stage is amazing. You're able to truly manifest your desires by focusing on them and taking action on them. Like an eagle, soaring above the BS, focusing on your own path and inspiring others while you're doing it. So have fun soaring, have fun evolving. Let me know how it is, and I really appreciate you all taking the time to watch the video. Happy Scorpio season, happy 11/11. Make sure to make wishes and have an amazing evolution journey. I'll see you all on November 21st. Bye.